Yes.
Almost.
Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusion. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you, beloved Baba, and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading almost at the tail end of the entire series of 4 books of conversations. So, this particular section, as we have read earlier, is called section 3. Only it is called gift of the moments. That means momentarily he would get some thoughts, some whatever, and he would just write it out. They have not been yet converted into or transformed into conversation. And this section is purely and wholly done by his loyal, faithful friends, So actually, this is not directly connected with conversations, though directly connected with Bal Natuji. So, and they are not a running chapter, they are small paragraphs, sometimes couple of lines only, and they may or may not require much of explanation. But since we have been loyal to the book, we want to complete the whole book, although we did say that only selected sections would be read. We are trying to complete the whole book. Maybe in 2 turns more, we will be able to do that. So we are now on page number
One,
1.
140.
140, 140. As I said, they are small paragraphs. These are just thoughts, and it has been nomenclated as gift of the moments. It's just a gift, a thought has come. So let's see how deep we can go into that.
The sting behind the search. What is this life? It is a search for something unknown, unnameable. It is as though I am groping under a cloudy, dark sky. I wonder whether I should stop. Is this not madness? The search begins with a sharp bite, a sting within my restless heart. That drives me to find and feel the unnameable, incomprehensible thing that sustains my I-ness. My first reaction to the sting is to want to fall into a deep slumber, but only for a moment. It soon urges me onward into the darkness of unknowing. What is the source? What is the nature of the sting? It is a recognition of the absurdity of the false I, imagining itself separate from the oneness of life. All of the searching for relief from suffering, all this longing for happiness is in order to become reconciled to one's true nature. The sting and the search it awakens is rooted in the eternal life of the infinity of God. How fantastic is this living?
All right. We had done this before. Couple of thoughts I'm just quoting. That howsoever high you may go into the atmosphere and pour water, it would only go and meet the source of water, which is the ocean. Let's put it that way. Howsoever high you may go. Howsoever low you may go, and let's say strike a match or make a fire, it will always go upward because the source of fire is considered to be the sun. So it's going in that direction. In the same way, howsoever depraved we are, dirty, filthy, ugly, sinful, fallen, as I said, howsoever, ultimately that spark within us will ultimately make us merge with the truth, the reality, the oneness of all that is. You can call it by any name. So the whole modus operandi, the whole way of its functioning is no matter who you are, what you are, where you are, in what condition you are, ultimately, at the end of the journey, we all will experience oneness with truth, with reality, with God in either in the state of Aham Brahmasmi, which is God realization, or in the state of Moksha, Mukti, liberation, salvation, which is basically enjoying infinite bliss of union, of oneness with God. So here it is more or less saying the same thought processes over here. Another thought process which I have been often repeating is, that what is that creature? I forget. I tend to forget these days. But anyway, there is no creature which is not destined for the supreme goal, as there is no river which is not winding its way to the sea. In some documents, it is instead of which it is that. In some documents, instead of sea, it is ocean. But basically, it means the same thing. That nothing that is created is deprived of the creator or is without the creator. That is number one. And number two, that which is created, which we call as a creature, will ultimately realize that I myself am the creator. Let's put it that way. So basically, there is nothing but one, and that one is so all encompassing, whole one, that there is no scope for the other. All right, so now let's read this beautiful paragraph. What is this life? We all come to a stage where we try to, rake our brains. What is this life? What am I here for? What am I doing? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? What is my role in this life? What is my goal in this life? What am I supposed to do in this life? Basically, we all go through a certain patch where we feel, is it that you just eat, drink, marry, beget children, have a job, have a house, have a car, die, go away? Is that what it is? So what is life? Somebody has very beautifully said, what is the meaning of life? Somebody asked. And this has not come from Baba literature. Somewhere else, it says, life itself has no meaning. It is you who have to give meaning to your life. Life itself has no meaning. So somebody may give a meaning of poverty, sickness, troubles, difficulties, problems, finances, da da da. Somebody may give a very positive, a very colorful, a very beautiful meaning. So it all depends upon life itself has no meaning. You attribute meaning towards life. Then Baba has said, that life is like a game of playing. It is like a game of playing hide and seek. Pakadao we call it, chor police we say, in which you are supposed to find your real self. The false self is supposed to find its real self. And the only way to find its real self is to deny the false self. Neti, neti. Chip it off, like that. Coming back to the reading now. What is this life? It is a search for something unknown. At other places, Baba says that there is no searching, there is no journeying, there is no goal or something. It's all inside you. The only thing is that you have to get rid of your false self. And there is no way in which you can yourself get rid of your false self, because the more effort we put at getting rid of the false self, the more, what should I say, authentic, or the more aggressive the false self, assertive, the more assertive the false self remains. The only way seems to be to offer everything to Baba, as if it is he who is thinking, who is feeling, who is speaking, and who is acting. Throughout the day, everything it is he. I do not exist. And Baba has given us the pathway, that in the morning when you get up, you just think that Baba, whatever I think, speak, it is you. At the end of the day, offer everything that you have thought, spoken, done to Baba. Baba, it is all yours. So that's one way of doing it. The other simple way, as Baba has been constantly harping upon, is constant, wholehearted remembrance. When you do that, there is very little scope for the false self to assert itself. And whatever you do, you are offering it to Baba. So by and large, over a long period of time, you do not incur fresh karmas or samskaras, whereas your past karmas or samskaras gets expended, utilized, spent, balanced out, and that's the end of the game. What is this life? It is a search for something unknown, unnameable. Can't name it. It is as though I am groping under the cloudy, dark sky. There's no clarity of what is my life about. Why am I going through whatever I'm going through? The negative as well as the positive. I wonder whether I should stop. Is this not madness? It is madness to keep on thinking, what is this life? Where am I going? What am I here for? What is my agenda in life? Something. Is it all madness? Shouldn't I stop? The search begins with a sharp bite. Now, when he talks about the search, my understanding is genuine, sincere search of for the very first question, who am I? That's the search. And I am this, I am that, I am man, I am woman, I am Easterner, I am Westerner, I am healthy, I am sick, etc., etc., ending with I am God. So the search begins with a sharp bite, as if somebody bites you, and all of a sudden you wake up, you awaken from the slumber of just floating on the water, just going here and there without any aim. The search begins with a sharp bite, a sting within my restless heart. It is a sting, a bite, which is there in the heart is restless. So the search begins with that. That drives me to find and feel the unnameable, incomprehensible thing that sustains my I-ness. That which is unnameable, that which is incomprehensible, that is actually sustaining my I-ness, which means my beingness, my reality, that is sustaining. Baba, God, whatever you want to call it, is sustaining the entire creation. That is why Baba has said, if somebody asks who is Meher Baba, apart from the fact that he says he is the one who is provoking this question in you, you can say that he is the being of all beings. Anything that is, the moment you identify an existence of any minuscule thing, you identify this is it, then in that this is it, the being of all beings, which is Baba God, is always present, because that thing cannot exist unless there is the existence of that beingness. So here he says, that which is unnameable, that which is incomprehensible, that which is sustaining my I-ness is what I'm searching for. Let's go ahead. My first reaction to the sting is to want to fall into a deep slumber. That means I just want to become non-entity or unconscious. In other words, I don't want to make any effort. I just want to be into a deep slumber, but only for a moment. It soon urges me onward into the darkness of unknowing. In other words, this urge, this whim, this hooky, this lahar, which started from the very beginning, from the time the creation began, is in each and every drop soul within the ocean. That urge is there. And that urge is never going to die, or that urge is never going to lie low. It may lie low, just now how he said, into a deep slumber, but only for a moment. It is never going to stop prodding us into finding out the real answer to the first question, who am I? Or prodding. My first reaction, okay, but only for a moment. It soon urges me onward into the darkness of unknowing. Now, because it is not known, because God is not known consciously, it is unknowing. It is a darkness, isn't it? We don't know. What is the source? What is the nature of this sting? Where did this urge, whim, uki, lahar, sting, bite came from? What is the source? What is the nature of this sting? It is a recognition of the absurdity of the false I imagining itself separate from the oneness of life. So beautiful. What is that sting? What is the source of that sting? Why that sting? The moment we realize and understand the absurdity of the false I, separated other than finite from the whole, then that is the source. Now I'll repeat this, very beautiful. It is a recognition, identification, knowingness, feeling that urge of the absurdity, how absurd, how stupid, that I am thinking myself as separate from the ocean, as separate from God, as separate from each one of you. It is the recognition of the absurdity of the false I, which is what we are all are, false I, imagining itself separate from the ocean, sorry, from the oneness of life. So that is the source. All of this searching for relief from suffering, all this longing for happiness is in order to become reconciled to one's true nature. As Baba has said, that all suffering is nothing but a kind of a result of your love to know yourself. In other words, whatever we are going through, the good, the bad, the ugly, the unhappiness, the happiness, whatever we are going through has but one aim, one goal to reach us to that goal where we realize our own true nature. As Baba says, our own true nature is oneness with everyone and everything, is infinite bliss, is infinite knowledge, power, and bliss. If we are fortunate enough to recognize that in the physical body, then we'll experience all the three aspects of God: infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite bliss. But if we are not destined for that, then at least we will experience infinite bliss and the oneness which comes through that. So here Baba says, all of this searching for relief from suffering, all this longing for happiness is in order to become reconciled to one's true nature. Once we reconcile to one's true nature, which is the truth, which is the reality, which is immortality, which is oneness, which is an infinite bliss, eternal. The sting and the search it awakens. It is the search is awakened by the sting. How will you awaken from the slumber? It is only when somebody will sting you, beat you up, or shake you up, or something. So that sting, which is a search and the sorry, a nightmare. The sting and the search it awakens is rooted in the eternal life of the infinity. It is embedded, it is rooted in the eternal life of infinity of God. How fantastic is this living? In other words, this is just a thought that the author had, and the helpers have framed it accordingly. So, in short, what this paragraph tries to show us is that when the sting stings, it awakens us to the search of our true nature. That's all. And how fantastic it is. And the sting will never die. The sting will never give up. The sting will never rest. It will keep us prodding us till we are able to reach the goal. Any questions on this? No. All right. Go ahead.
Your unseen hands. Your unseen hands are always at work for my good, but I foolishly put them aside and invite troubles and sorrows for myself. Even though the light from your eyes continues to show me the right path, in my ignorance, I pay no heed. I walk astray and fall into pits and ditches and get hurt. O awakener, what kind of guidance can you give to a fool such as I?
We'll go paragraph by paragraph because they are all disjointed, so to speak. Your unseen hands. Sorry. Most of us, or maybe all of us, have always observed that there is a beacon, a flashlight, a kind of a, what is it called? A post, a beacon, you can say, lamp post, which is always guiding us, which is always shedding light on what we are supposed to do. This light can come to us only when we are open to recognize that light and follow that light. Basically, what I understand is there are two. One is the internal and one is the external. One is the real I and one is the false I. One is the heart and one is the mind or head or thoughts or whatever. Most of us are following our life pattern based on our thinking process. Nothing wrong in that. But Baba says that it's time that we slow down the pace, the speed, the velocity of the mind and follow the heart. And one of the ways Baba shows us to do it is again the same thing, they're coming to the same thing. Constant, wholehearted remembrance. Wholehearted. And when one has enthroned Baba in the heart, and one has cultivated the habit of consulting that one within our heart in whatever we are doing, constantly we consult and ask, what should I do now? Where should I go? Whether I should do this or not do this and all that. Then gradually that light opens up and tells us what to do or what not to do. Many a times we follow the intuition, the inner voice, whatever you call it, the guidance, and we feel that yes, it has really helped us a lot. Many a times we just shroud, envelope, cover that voice and say no, because it doesn't match with our logic, with our rationale. It doesn't seem to match. So we just put it down and do whatever our mind tells us to do. It doesn't mean that that is wrong or this is right. But generally, by and large, it is found that the heart shows us the shortcut. You can go via the long cut, via the mind cut also. But generally, the heart is what Baba wants us to follow. So basically, that seems to be the crux of what we are going to read now. Your unseen hands. Baba is always there to guide us, help us, protect us. It is up to us to accept that hand and choose to follow that, or say, no, thank you, I'm good enough, I can do it myself. And then whatever the consequences are, we are supposed to face that. Your unseen hands are always at work for my good. Baba is always, Baba had said once, that there are three things that I know, and one of that was, that whatever I do, whatever actions that I do are for the greatest benefit to all people concerned. Words to the effect. That means his acts are only beneficial to each one of us. If we choose not to take that help, then it's up to us. Baba says, I can't help. The other example which Baba gave was of the sunlight is shining very brightly on each one of us. But if you take an umbrella and then it is preventing the sun to touch you, to reach you. Such a small insignificant thing like an umbrella can prevent such a mighty sun's rays. But Baba always said in the earlier chapter, Baba said that I never impose myself on anyone. I allow things to happen in the natural course. I allow things and people to make mistakes and to learn from their mistakes and to get up and walk and again fall and again get up and walk. So that is the scheme of things. That's what Baba does. So here it says, your unseen hands are always at work for my good, but I foolishly push them aside and invite troubles and sorrows for myself. That means, even though there is an intuitive voice telling us to do something, you just shut it down, you just clamp it and say, no, I would rather do it this way, like that. Even though the light from your eyes continues to show me the right path, in my ignorance, I pay no heed. Many of us do that in our ignorance. We do not pay heed. We go for short term gains rather than long term benefits. I walk astray, you go astray, and fall into pits and ditches and get hurt. We go astray, we fall down in the pit, in the ditches and pits, and we get hurt. But that's, I think, it's all a part of the game. It's all a part of growing up. It's a part of awakening. It's a part of learning that we go astray, we fall down, we get hurt, we again come up. And Baba is always, always, always there to give us a helping hand if we want it. If Baba gives a hand, if we are in the ditch and Baba, come, I'll help you. Say, no, Baba, I'll manage. Baba says, okay, your choice, and walk away. So it's like that. So here it says, I walk astray and fall into pits and ditches and get hurt. O awakener, what kind of guidance can you give to a foolish as I? So the author is saying, I am so foolish that in spite of you extending a helping hand, in spite of your eyes shining and showing me the correct path, the right path, I keep going astray and falling down into the pits and ditches and getting hurt. Oh, Awakener, what can you do? What kind of guidance can you give to a person who is so obstinate, who is so ignorant, who is so foolish as I? So here ends the another paragraph.
Day of silence. A tranquil lake lies within all. Desires disturb our inner joy as a storm sets the calm lake swirling till it becomes muddy. A day of silence can still the storms, deepening his presence in our hearts, moods and bonds dissolve into clarity and poise. Focusing on stillness in spite of life's storms can free us from our bonds and give us real happiness.
Day of silence. I keep repeating that these are only gifts of the moment, just a thought, and it's jotted down. And the faithful friends of Bal Natu ji have compiled this. Day of silence. A tranquil lake lies within all. Basically, we are all nature. Pure, real nature is nothing but calmness, peace, joy, bliss, stillness, silence. This is the real nature. What shakes it is are the desires, the longings, the cravings, the wants. You can't help it because they are there, not just from this life, but from several lifetimes. And they are there as the film roll already loaded, already shot, by way of karmas or samskaras. And their job is nothing but to project itself on the screen of our consciousness. And that's what they are doing. So it is like you just can't, you're helpless to do it. In a sense, you're helpless. Except, of course, by the grace of God, by the grace of Baba, we can overcome them. So here, a tranquil lake lies within all. Desires disturb our inner joy as a storm sets the calm lake swirling till it becomes muddy. How a storm can make a calm lake muddy by shaking it, by in a sense swirling it. In the same way, although naturally we are all calm like a lake, the desires are those things which will shake us up and make us all muddy. A day of silence can still the storms, deepening his presence into our hearts, moods and wants dissolve into clarity and poise. So basically, he says that a day of silence, and silence not necessarily mean just the physical silence of the mouth, but silencing of the mind. Silencing of the mind would mean not to have any thoughts, which is absolute, you know, not only difficult, but it is absolutely impossible not to have any thoughts. So Baba has given us a way out. Baba is so sweet, so practical. Then Baba says that holding on to one constant divine thought is equivalent to maintaining silence, or is equivalent to having no thoughts of the mind. So what he is recommending, what the author is recommending, that his presence, his remembrance will be able to quieten our mind, and we will be able to dive deep within ourselves. I'll read the last line. A day of silence can still the storms, deepening his presence in our hearts. When we deepen his presence, his remembrance in our heart, what will happen? Moods and wants dissolve. All our moods, wants, longings, cravings, it will get dissolved, and clarity and poise will come into clarity and poise. So, in this particular paragraph, the author is recommending a day of silence where it is not just the physical silence of the mouth, but the silence of the mind. And as I said, the silencing of the mind is well nigh impossible for anybody not to have no thoughts. So the way out is to have thoughts, but to have only one single divine thought, and that is of the remembrance or presence of our beloved Lord. So that is equivalent to maintaining silence of the mind. Focusing on stillness in spite of life's storms can free us from our wants and give us real happiness. So, in spite of the storms that we are going through in life, if we are able to focus on the stillness within, then he says, the author says, that it can free us from our wants and give us real happiness. So, next.
Nameless is. Is life an accident, a coincidence, or just an incident? I do not know for certain. Sometimes I feel it is meaningful. Sometimes I get confused. And many a time I come up against a wall. But deep down, somewhere, most unexpectedly, a voice whispers that everyone's life, in fact, every little thing, is going through an unfolding of something that comes from the unborn and unconnected, which exists as nameless is.
It is beautiful, but we need to understand it. Baba, in his discourses and other places, including God Speaks, he says, God is. So here it is, nameless is. You can't name it. Is life an accident? Is it an accidental thing? A coincidence? Or just an incident? That's the question. I do not know for certain what is life. Sometimes I feel it is meaningful. Sometimes you feel that life is meaningful. Sometimes I get confused, and many a time I come up against a wall. Come up against the wall means I just don't know where to go. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know who am I. I just don't know what is expected out of me. I just don't know anything to come against the wall. But deep down, somewhere, most unexpectedly, a voice whispers that everyone's life, in fact, every little thing, is going through an unfolding. It is unfolding. As we have seen, spirituality is not an accumulation of gathering from without, from outside. It is an unfoldment from within. So everything is unfolding. And as it is unfolding, the external petals are just falling off. In other words, what is not neti we say is just going off, and what is the truth finally revealed. Everybody and everything is in a process of unfoldment of the truth within. So here it says, in fact, every little thing is going through an unfolding of something that comes from the unborn, uncreated. Creation is an illusion. That's what Baba said. Unborn and unconnected. It is not connected with anybody or anything. Connected means there is two. I am connected with you. There is a dui, a dvaita, two-ness,
Duality.
duality. It is unconnected. It is just one is unconnected, which exists as the nameless is. So, in other words, this paragraph says or depicts what we all go through. Right and wrong, good and bad. Is this correct? Is this to come to a wall and then you don't know where to go, what to do? But I personally feel, this is my take, that it is all in the design of things, that we do go through troubles, difficulties, problems, helplessness, inadequacies, everything, we do go through. Those are the points, those are the times when we are able to touch the very core of our being. We are going to, we call it plumbing. We are actually plumbing deep down within ourselves, to know the facts. And that is why he says that unexpectedly, the voice says, the voice talks, the voice speaks, the voice tells you what? That everyone and everything is in the process of unfoldment. It is unfolding, and that it is unfolding. They're unborn, unconnected, and it is called the nameless is. You can call it a nameless is. Any questions now? Anybody has anything to ask? Go ahead.
Showers of your grace. May showers of your love ever refresh my life, lived with you and for you. May the showers of your grace keep the garden of my love for you ever green and fresh. Let my life be drenched in your loving remembrance. May I please you, the only beloved, more and more through my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Let every moment of life be soaked in the joy of your presence.
Here, this is I would say, a sort of a prayer from the author to the Lord, the Awakener. Showers of your grace. There's a book called Showers of Grace,
Grace.
which also has been written by, compiled, I would say, by Bal Natu ji, and it's also been translated into Marathi. Krupa Cha Varsha.
Varsha.
Krupa Cha Varsha. Right? The short stories of people who have had miraculous, so-called miraculous. Baba never used the word miraculous. He never was in favor of that. Miraculous incidents, episodes in their own life. So those have been jotted down and compiled into that book called Showers of Grace. And Baba never In fact, as I said, not only not give importance to miracles, but at one point he said that depicting my greatness to other people through and by means of miracle. Oh, this happened and therefore Baba is great. He's actually belittling me. Actually, you're putting me down. You are, in a sense, you are disgracing me. You are putting me down by joining miracles to my name and say, oh, Baba is great because of this miracle. So that is what Baba has to say about miracles. Okay, showers of your grace. May showers of your love ever refresh my life, lived with you and for you. Now, when the showers of His grace of love befalls anybody, then Baba says, love is a gift from God to man. It is a gift which is rarely given. It is a gift which, if given prematurely, the receiver will not be able to receive it. He will feel shattered. There have been times when people have asked Baba, I only want your grace. Baba said, don't ask for my grace. You will not be able to digest it because His grace would only focus on all that is the truth, the reality. So all that is false, the name, the fame, the wealth, the bungalow, the car, the wife, the children, they will all go away because they are all false in your life. So you cannot digest the real grace from Baba. So here Bal Natu is saying, okay, you give me the grace of your love, which will ever refresh my life, lived with you and for you. Lived with you means lived in your loving presence, in your remembrance, and for you, which means my every breath, my every action, my every thought is focused on pleasing you, on making you happy. May the showers of your grace keep the garden of my love for you evergreen and fresh. Here he is saying that because of your grace, the garden of my love for you should remain evergreen and ever fresh. He's pleading to Baba. These are his prayers to Baba, beseeching Baba. Let my life be drenched in your loving remembrance, completely drenched in your loving remembrance. At other places, Baba had said that you must remember me so often that you are at a loss for any other cause. That means you should be completely drenched in my remembrance. May I please you, the only beloved, more and more through my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Baba has given a lot of importance to pleasing him. Even above, we have done this example of obeying. No, no, no. Even above realizing him and even above achieving him through mukti or moksha. I had given these examples, but maybe I might give now. To please Baba is the highest that one can achieve. Not realizing Baba. That's what I understand from certain examples which I'll give now. Let every moment of life be soaked in the joy of your presence. That means every moment of my life be soaked in joy. Why? Because of your presence, not joy for any other thing. So would you like to narrate Barucha? Okay. I've said this before, but there are many times many new people keep coming and going. So the regular ones will find me very repetitive. That can't be helped. There was one gentleman by the name Meenu Barucha who lived with Upasni Maharaj. And I was later told that he also had met Sai Baba. He was also with Hazrat Babajan, but I'm not very sure about that. Upasni Maharaj for sure. So Upasni Maharaj had told Meenu that Meenu, this is your last life. No further reincarnation, punarjanam. This is your last life. He just heard that. Then when Upasni Maharaj dropped his body, he joined Meher Baba. In between, he studied and became electrical engineer, and he was responsible for doing a lot of electrical work in Meherabad during that time. Because I do remember I would be given some samples to go to Lohar Chal, to go to this Crawford Market and all that, and find out the cost and in wholesale how much does it cost. So that's just a personal connection I was sharing. So once Meenu had asked Meher Baba, after joining Baba in Meherabad, that Upasni Maharaj had told me once that this is my last life. Is it true? Is it correct? And Baba nodded and said, yes, it is correct. This is your last life. No further births and deaths. You'll achieve mukti, moksha, which means you will experience infinite bliss eternally. What that is, we do not. We only know pleasure, happiness, and joy, but we have never experienced the bliss. That also Baba has very beautifully demarcated earlier on in this in this book, but we won't go into that part now. All right. So Baba said yes. Then Meenu jocularly said, "See, I am an electrical engineer. I work with electricity all the time. All that I need to do is just catch a live wire and pop. I am out of this so-called rat race of life, and I will achieve mukti, and I will achieve bliss, and I will be absolutely happy. Isn't that so?" And Baba nodded and said, yes, you will achieve mukti, but that will not please me. So my interpretation of that would be that Baba gives more importance to pleasing him as compared to achieving bliss or mukti or moksha. That was one aspect. The other aspect, these are just my creation of my so-called limited thinking mind. Another is there is a document called 12 Ways of Realizing Me. 12 ways. In that there are many, and in the last it is written words to the effect: if you have that love which Saint Francis had for Jesus, not only will you realize me, but you will also please me. So the words to the effect, as I said. So here what I interpret is that if you have that love for Baba, realization is there. Realize, you will realize. Not only will you realize me, but you will also please me. So here again, my interpretation would be that pleasing Baba is the most supreme. All right. So here we have seen, I think we have done that. Let every moment of life be soaked in the joy of the presence. Achha, Ram, you have something to ask, please. Aban, your mic is open.
Yeah. So
Aban, 1 minute. Aban, your mic is open, dear.
but
Aban. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
yeah.
Ram, go ahead.
So what minutia? What he said, if he caught a live wire, so wouldn't that be equivalent to suicide?
It will
And
be.
then what? So is the Lord going to wipe out all his unspent sanskaras?
You see, it will in one sense it tantamounts to suicide. But because he is destined for mukti in this particular life and body, my understanding would be, irrespective of what he does, is that he is marked for salvation in this life. So no, in a sense, yes, it is suicide, but he'll achieve salvation.
So is
These are
unspent
exceptions.
sanskaras
Yeah.
are
These are exceptions to the case, you can say. Yeah. So if you are marked, let us say, for salvation,
Yeah.
then whatever you do in this life and whatever karmas or samskaras you may have accumulated, it doesn't mean anything, because ultimately realization and mukti are in the domain of reality, whereas accumulation of samskaras are in the domain of illusion, and reality always supersedes illusion. I would look at it that way.
Yeah, so God's not going to cancel it. Okay, I'm going to cancel your salvation, and then I'll let you spend one more.
No. No. Don't worry. All right. Let's go ahead.
Oh, my heart and mind. Oh, my heart and mind. Have you not seen the face of the all knowing, all forgiving one? Then why do you not feel his presence in those whom you meet and in the things that you see?
That's all. Oh, oh, my heart and mind. According, we say heart, mind, but these are all physical heart and physical mind. It doesn't basically. These are, I would say, yeah, these are organs. But when Baba talks about the mind, he's not talking about the brain. He's not talking. Obviously, he's not talking about the brain. He's talking about something which is non-physical, metaphysical, we may say, if we want to. And in God Speaks, Baba talks about the mental world, where there are two sections. The one which is on plane 5 or 5th plane is concerned with the thinking aspect of the thinking, the logic, the rationale, which we call as man. And the 6th plane is, we call it antakarana, we call it the heart, we call that is the feeling aspect of the mental world, the thinking and the feeling aspect. But we won't go into that. Oh, my heart and mind. Oh, my heart and mind, have you not seen the face of the all-knowing, all-forgiving one? He's asking himself, his own heart and own. Have you not seen the face of the all-knowing? When he is all-knowing, what does it mean? That means he knows all. There is nothing hidden from him. And all-forgiving. All-forgiving means no matter what you do, how many times you do, he is only forgiving. He is all forgiving. Let's understand that. So if you have known him to be all-knowing and all-forgiving, then why do you not feel his presence in those whom you meet and in the things that you see? How is it that we who have seen Baba, who know Baba, not only to be all-knowing and all-forgiving, but also omnipresent? That means all present, everywhere, omniscient, all knowing. You see, so why is it that in spite of knowing him, the Lord, Baba, you are not able to see him in those whom you meet? That means we interact with so many people through the day. Why is it that you are not able to see him in those whom you meet and in the things that you see? In other words, he is the being of all beings. Things and beings cannot exist without the beingness of Baba. And if you know that his beingness is there in everyone and everything, then why is it and how is it that you are not able to see his beingness in all the people that you encounter and meet and talk and do whatever with through the day? And how is it that you are not able to see and feel him in everything that you see? So that's one thought. As we said, these are just thoughts which are being framed into paragraphs.
Thread. O Awakener, help us to spin our lives prayerfully and to weave a design for you gracefully, while always leaving the thread in your compassionate and loving hands.
That's all. That's all. Again, the thought which is expressed here is to surrender to Baba, is to leave everything to him. And when we say leave everything, it doesn't mean that you will not do. There may come a time in our life when we will not even need to do. And the seeker becomes the sought. When we go on the planes of consciousness, we have seen must. They don't do anything. They don't go out for food. They don't go out to change clothes. They don't go out to bath. They don't do anything. And yet everything gets done. that's a different level. In my limited understanding of things at our level, when we say, I have surrendered to Baba, I have resigned to Him, which means that our part of the job, which we are expected to do with all sincerity and honesty, and then leave the results to Him. I would feel that way. So thread, the chapter is thread, which means He should be the puppeteer and we should be the puppet. And He can work as a puppeteer and we as a puppet only when we have given our thread of life in His hands to make us dance as He wants us to dance. And in other words, it only means that we constantly remember Him wholeheartedly, that we have already enthroned Him in our own being, that we constantly consult Him in everything that we do, everything that we think and speak. And if that we do, if that is the way we are doing it, then maybe we can be said to have surrendered to Him. So here, O Awakener, help us to spin our life prayerfully, spinning with the thread. How? Through prayerful, through gratitude, through always, being in His presence. Help us to spin our life prayerfully and to weave a design for you gracefully. Weave such a design by living such a life gracefully that it will please you, while always leaving the thread in your compassionate and loving hands. We leave the thread of our life in your loving and compassionate hands and weave our life, live our life so gracefully, so beautifully that it pleases you. That's the central thought, is what I would feel.
Discrimination. You stir the intellect so much, giving it full freedom till it eventually discovers its limits. Then begins its real function, discrimination.
Only one sentence. Once again, here what the author is trying to say is that Baba gives us the liberty to attend everything only through the mind, only through thoughts, only through rationale, only through discussions, debates, and thinking process. And a time comes in our life when we are so fed up with that process and we use another process, that means the heart. We start consulting our heart, we start discriminating what will please Baba. What should I do in this situation that Baba would be pleased with my decision? You stir the intellect so much, giving it full freedom. It will give full freedom. Go wherever you want to go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. A time comes when you feel satiated, when we feel like coming to a dead wall, as we say, and that is the time we take a U-turn from this from thinking process and start consulting our heart, and that is what is called discrimination. You stir the intellect so much, giving it full freedom till it eventually discovers its limits. Ultimately, intellect will discover its limits. Baba has said, that God is and Godhood begins where imagination ends. So imagination actually has no limit. You can imagine anything. Just imagine what is the 1,000,000 headed ant. Or you can imagine anything you want to imagine, you imagine. But where the limit of imagination ends, and imagination we do through what? Through our own mind, through our own thinking process. Where the limit of imagination ends, that is where God is and Godhood begins. So here I'll read the sentence. You stir the intellect so much, giving it full freedom till it eventually discovers its limits. Then begins its real function, discrimination. Then the real function of the intellect starts. In what is it called? Infinite intelligence. Baba talks about intellect having two functions. One is the thinking process, and one is the imagining process or imagination process. So basically, when all this is over, that is when it hands over the charge to the real thinking, which is the thinking from the heart. Oh, 6:30. Thank you. It's sharp 6:30. There are just a few more pages, so we'll try to, as and when. After this, I really do not know what I'm going to start. I know Perrin did suggest new life, but I'm a little hesitant for a simple reason that I don't know. Somehow it is something which is Amcha Kshetra 9. It Baba's section. It could go too intellectual only and not very practical, I think. Such as, the final declaration, the clarification, the confirmation, and all that. It is too complex in a sense. But let's see. Whatever Baba gives us the prerna, we'll take up that book, or we'll leave it to Baba when we come to it. We'll cross the bridge when we come to it. Any questions? Anything to ask?
How about having a quick Q&A session?
Q&A session.
Okay, we can do that. At the end of the book, we can do that. Normally, at the end of the book at the Bombay Center, our practice is to invite those who have been attending to speak a few words as to how the book has impacted them and how the book has been instrumental in making a difference in their life, how the reading has transformed them, if at all. So each one can share 2, 3, 4 minutes, give their personal practical examples. But my experience with that exercise has been absolutely, what should I say, abhorring, because nobody wants to speak, everybody wants to listen. If maybe when we do this time, there's a change in the atmosphere and people will come forth and say that, oh, this is what has happened, that is what. I hope so. Let's see.
What I meant was general Q&A, general questions.
We can have Q&A questions.
Yeah, general questions, on mostly on discourses and God speaks.
Yeah, but only on Baba. Yeah, of course. We can do that.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
But we didn't have it in between. No?
We'll do it.
Yeah, but we stopped it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't getting enough questions.
Okay.
Yes.
It's got to be impromptu, people don't want to formalize a question and send it. So once you start the meeting, people may have questions, so.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
After finishing the last line of this book, we will jump to the feedback from whosoever have been attending so far, the feedback, and then we can go to Q&A. Okay?
Q&A, and also it may not be a bad idea to cover a few of the important chapters in discourses.
Okay. Let's see. We'll do that. Yeah.
So,
I would
I'm
like
just
to
throwing
put it
around few
positively.
ideas, that's all.
I would like to put it positively. It's a brilliant idea to cover some of the chapters in discourses. We'll do that also.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, then anybody has anything to share, ask? Anything to ask, share? Nothing. Okay. Avatar, Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.